All right, so I haven't posted a video in a while, so I'll clear the air a little bit. I'm just wrapping up my not third, my third year of college right now, and I'm dealing with not only moving back home, but moving out of my college dorm, out of my mom's house, and into my own house. And I'm getting a new job. I actually start tomorrow, so yeah, been having a lot to deal with lately. Not like mentally, or it's not hard or anything. I'm just busy, so I really haven't been able to post anything. But I watched Signs last night. It was the 2002 film from M Night Shyamalan. And that's the last time I'm gonna say it because I know I pronounced it wrong. But anyways, this is a cult classic film, and it took me a long time to watch this movie, and really the reason I did watch it is because my a good buddy of mine, Jake, he really hyped it up. I mean, he's got an opinion that I can take into consideration, something that I can value. So I listened to his opinion, and I said, you know what, I'm gonna watch it. And I think a reason why I haven't watched it is because I hold Joaquin Phoenix on like another like level of acting. I think he's the greatest of all time. He's my favorite. I adore him, and I just felt like this is going to be a cheesy, corny movie, um, and that's why I think that's why I never watched it. But it wasn't, and I'm going to go into it. But since this was a direct request from a friend of mine, I want to do that justice and give it a like in-depth review. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to break it down into things I didn't like, and then I'm going to talk about things I did like, and then I'm going to say my overall opinion and thoughts on the film. But before that, I got to tell you what it's about. If you haven't ever seen it, which surprise, I haven't, so who knows? You may have not have seen it. It's about Mel Gibson and Joaquin Phoenix. They are two brothers with two kids. Actually, Rory Culkin and Abigail Breslin. Rory was in Scream 4. That's where I know him from. And Abigail we all know her from Zombieland. Anyways, so those are the two children, and Joaquin and Mel are brothers, and they live on a farm, and they found a crop circle, and that's basically like the whole plot of the movie. And then the rest of the movie is about that and what happens, and I can't really say much without spoiling it. But anyways, I'm gonna say the things that I didn't like about the film, and I'm just gonna be brutally honest, and I'm gonna be completely transparent. And I don't I feel like felt like some of the characters were corny. Not necessarily some of the characters, but maybe the acting wasn't was not it was corny. And to their credit, these are great actors. Mel Gibson, Joaquin Phoenix, and even the children. They're good actors. They don't put out bad work. So I think what it was is the directors and the screenwriters made it to where these characters weren't really expressive, and they didn't really have much groundwork to have an expressive, real complex character. Because Mel Gibson plays an ex preacher, I think it is, and he's shy and he's timid and he's real conserved with his behavior and his moods. He doesn't really express emotions very heavily. And Joaquin's also kind of like that, just a tad bit, a little bit more expressive. And the children are they're children, so you can't. I feel bad critiquing children, so that it is what it is. But nonetheless, I just felt like these characters could have been stronger. I didn't dislike them per se, but I feel like they could have been stronger. Um, Another thing I really didn't enjoy was and there's not really necessarily anything wrong with this. It just isn't my style. When the movie opens up, you're kind of just introduced into this family without really even knowing anything. No, you don't know what Mel Gibson is or what Joaquin Phoenix is. You don't really. I mean, you can kind of put your intuition in there and say they're brothers and their family, but you don't really actually know that until later on in the film. You don't know any of their backstory, why the mom isn't around. You don't understand any of that until later in the story. Why his brother lives with him. You don't, and you kind of figure it out as the movie goes on. And I feel like if that was introduced in the beginning of the film, it could have provided for more stronger characterization and for me to be more immersed in the character's life. But that is actually a small nitpicky thing. Overall, I feel like the characters were fine. I enjoyed it. I was able to immerse myself and take it seriously. And especially with Joaquin, it's not hard. If Joaquin's in a movie, my eyes are like a magnet to the screen when he's on. But anyways, those are the things that I didn't like. Not much, very nitpicky things, kind of trivial, and not really a big deal. But the things that I did like about the film were not trivial. These are actually pretty significant indicators that it's a good film, in my opinion. One thing that I really did love about the film is that the movie knew what it was, and that's a really big thing for me. What the movie didn't do is go off on bullshit side plots about like there's not like a love story or like a love interest with Joaquin or like a love interest with Mel Gibson on the side, and there's not like another secondary character that we have to worry about, and there's not like some crazy complex lore behind why the aliens are here. The movie knows what it is. It's about aliens taking over the world and taking over a specific family, and that's what it shows you, and it does a real good job at pacing as well. It's not really in your face like with jump scares and loud noises like a lot of alien movies are. They're not. It's not egregious. The aliens are believable, and this came out in 2002, and it still stands the test of time, which is a really big takeaway for me. Is because a lot of these films used really corny CGI and really bullshit editing, and this movie really didn't. It really worked, in my opinion, and I really think it set the bar, and that's kind of what sets it. That's what set this film like really high for me, is that of how believable it was. You could take it seriously, and I can only imagine like if I would have watched this as a kid coming out, I bet it scared the absolute shit out of kids and it traumatized them. That scene where Joaquin was watching the news and the alien came across the screen, it scared me, and it terrified me, and that came out 18 years ago. But and another thing I really liked about the film is that it ends perfectly. It has a really good ending. Um, it doesn't do too much. It doesn't do too little. I think like I actually do think the story and the plot is perfect, and that a lot of time that doesn't happen in film. And for that reason alone, I'd probably give it like an 8.5, eight, maybe 8.5 out of 10. I really did enjoy this film, and for its time, if I would have watched this in 2002, it being 2002, this probably would have been at the very very top of my list. But unfortunately, it's 18 years from now, but it still holds up. It's still a great film. It's really good. I actually really enjoyed it, and I'm glad that I ended up watching it. So, see ya.